asking like, what is going on, like generic question, and what kind of issues we have right now, and why we are having the token swap at the moment. Just a reminder for everyone, we have a token swap from GTON, which is legacy token, to the new OGXT until 15 June. So please be careful. You can choose two options. You can do swap. So you'll be part of the projects with all the launches and all the the utilities and the crypto economics. But another option is basically the liquidation. So if you don't want to be a part of the project anymore, there is an opportunity for liquidation. So we have two options, and the deadline is 15 June. So this is like short reminder. So here we have a question about what is going on and why we have this token swap. So it is important to mention that the project initially launched more than 2 years ago with a focus of cross-chain liquidity. And as far as you know, such products and such functionality have lack of product market fit. So we switched our focus from cross-chain, which basically was working in some niche areas like arbitrageurs, but not enough to be scaled in some big and popular product and ecosystem. So we switched our focus to building our own ecosystem, basically the rollup. You can see it's like our own chain, and with all the applications on top of it. So we switched to this. Basically, the chain we already have, the GTONChain, and the digital utility assets there is the stablecoin, GTON dollar. So basically, it's multi-collateral stablecoin as using as utility as gas currency for the rollup. So we already have this infrastructure, but we have one important issue. Right now we have a bear market, and as you probably can see that during the bull run, anything works. Like you can launch any kind of projects, tokenomics, just tokens without any use cases, thousands of different meme coins, or NFT collections. Everything works because people are risk averse. They are basically buying and selling with each other. So we have huge activity, and this is an illusion of product market fit for some of the product builders. So we also found that, and unfortunately we fall in that trap as well, because during the bear market, where the digital assets basically lost their valuation, like 99% valuation, there is nothing much to do. So people just not doing anything. So basically the user count, like real users, not bots, but even bots are not working because it's requiring the money to pay for transactions. So we have kind of emptiness during the bear market, lack of product ideas, lack of user engagement, etc. So this is a difficult time, and this is what is going on right now. Basically, there are not so many things in Web3 we can do. We can do the exchange, we can do lending protocol, basically exchange one crypto to crypto with the over collateral and some infrastructure around that, right? So, but here we have existential problem, like why we are doing that. And I think in today's session, we'll try to change the way how we can see it. So basically, why we are doing token swap? Yes, we launched the product. We launched the projects more than 2 years ago. There were different market. There were different user base, different community, and right now, one of our goal is basically requalify the community members. So as you probably know, a lot of crypto investors basically are able to abandon their investments like completely, not doing anything with the assets, completely forgot them, and this is basically difficult situation because we have to re-qualify those active members who are active with us, who will help projects to grow, who will assist with the decision making. And in order to do that, there is one good silver bullet, basically the token swap. So everything we have, like since 2 years, will be freezed. And since 15 June, we will able to understand how many community members who still with the projects, who still believe in that, who still want to influence the decisions, want to be part of and protect basically the investments and push them into the successful area. So the token swap from GTON to OGXT is basically solving that. So this is why we are making that in the first place. So another story is everything connected to the old GTON, basically the team allocation vestings and all the stuff with the governments is also outdated, because after 2 years, the governance model basically shows that the team has all the control for the project and the assets. So, and I'm not sure it's fair. So, and this is why after establishing the new token, there will be an opportunity for us to build the new non-profit organizations on top of that. And one of the candidates for the membership into this organization to help with the decision making, to influence decision making. This will be basically the qualification of certain OGXT token holders into the role of the board members of this organization. And this is one thing. Another thing is how we will able to work with the projects on top of on infrastructure. So basically on top of GTON chain, utilizing the digital assets of the GTON ecosystem. And one of the approach is basically using this non-profit organization as a holding. And every project we will incubate, basically the incubation means that we are incorporating the project, helping with the funding, with the fundraising on the later stages, with the mentoring and the consulting, and basically helping the projects to be a profitable organization. One of the case we'll consider today is basically the DUNNO, the learn to earn game, and basically the tool. We'll speak more about a bit later. But yeah, in general, there is a process of understanding what issues we have, understanding the strategy, how during the bear market we are able to restructure ourselves, to restructure the companies, to restructure the approach of incorporation of different startups who potentially will utilize the technology we are building, and make a clear framework for pushing that forward. So this is first question. The second question: what value and power OGXT will have in GTON ecosystem? People are asking this question because some of the people have issues with the decision making about what they should do. Just liquidate or swap it to OGXT, and what will happen there. So the basic idea is pretty simple. Most of the functionalities we were describing for GTON will move to the OGXT. And one of the functionality, speaking about the digital assets within the ecosystem, every airdrops, every allocations, etc., will rely on OGXT token holders as supporters. Basically, the OGXT is kind of proof that we have our supporters, and with the incubation of different projects, there will be more digital assets like NFTs or tokens or some other complicated and interesting types of digital assets. So there will be need for distribution, for fair distribution and fair launch. So the OGXT token holders will be qualified as, first order receivers for such initiatives. There's no details yet because our focus right now is mostly oriented on the user experience. Because if you have a user base, there will be more opportunities to launch any kind of tokenomics or digital assets in respective economies. But once you have zero user base, all such attempts will be most probably unsuccessful. So, and as I already mentioned, OGXT token holders will be basically those who are big OGXT token holders, those who will express their interest in participation in GTON Foundation, the future non-profit organization as a holding company for all the initiatives we have. Those people will be considered and qualified for such applications. Sorry. So what else we have? Question number 4. GTON Foundation as a holding company. Yes, I already explained that. There is no information about how exactly it will looks like, but it is important to mention that the goal to establish that is basically this year, 2023, is a year for us to understand how to structure this and incorporate all the initiatives with the projects under incubation into that basically umbrella. So, and right now, I think I answered most of the questions regarding the why token swap is needed, what is going on right now, what we have right now. I will mention what we have right now. Right now, we have 2 projects under incubation. One project is Sims Finance, basically the application utilizing pathway protocol and specialized on generation of mirrored assets. So it is something like we were having with the mirror protocol on Terra blockchain. Just one important notice here: the Terra failed not because of mirror protocol. Mirror protocol was pretty successful there, but just because it was based on Terra Luna. The project is not live yet. Is not live anymore. So, but we know that it was relatively successful because people are in crypto are willing not to just gambling on different digital coins, but also willing to have much interesting portfolios and those combinations with the mirrored real assets. And there is actually huge opportunities for mirroring assets from real world, like indexes, stocks, commodities, and this is actually a huge market area. The only question is how to do it properly, because if we'll go back to our previous thoughts about the market in general, you will see that even if you have the perfect product for the synthetic assets, if you even solve the issue with the regulators, right? Because it's one of the most important issues here. There will be still some issue with the product market fit. Yes, it is democratization of finance, but the threshold for the new people to onboard in Web3 is really difficult. So this is why it has to be redesigned, most probably with the gamification or different approaches into the how to approach the users, basically how to show them the new type of products and engage them to try provide the feedback and make something viral. So Sim Finance is still under development. um, has huge potential, but we will talk about it about a bit later. Then there will be more information and the first launches. Um, Technically speaking, since the protocol perspective, as far as I know, everything is ready. But from the product perspective, there is a huge uncertainty, unfortunately, and this is one of the biggest tasks right now, to recognize how to position the mirror assets into the different markets, how to attract the people from that markets, and how to push it. Speaking about another project, which is DUNNO, the learn to earn game, it is covering two huge markets. One market is educational, I think it's a primary market, and the second one is entertainment. So we have an intersection, something like edutainment. And right now I wanna switch my monologue into the something like we can consider as interview. So Ilya, hello.
Yeah, first of all, let's start by correcting the pronunciation of the project's name because I've heard a lot of people saying it incorrectly. So the project is called DUNNO. I can talk about it a little more. So you mentioned that it lies at the intersection of education and entertainment, and there's a portmanteau word which is edutainment, which is quite a large industry, and we're trying to tackle it with this product. And DUNNO uses GPT-4 models to sort of power intellectual games and quizzes. And our strategy with it is to turn it into a learn-to-earn game where a Web3 component would complement it nicely by creating incentives for people to learn new things. But currently, what we have in production, we have a fully working game where you can create unique interactive learning environment for yourself, or for instance, for your friends and family. And you can both learn from and contribute to the platform by creating your own content, um, or participating in the quizzes that are generated by other people, either manually or by using the GPT-4 models. So it might seem that with the introduction of generative AI models, we're just trying to ride the hype train, which is probably partially true because we're very excited about this technology.
It is.
Uh, but I also see a much deeper strategic potential in it because I'm starting with the assumption that the introduction of generative models into our everyday lives, into our working environments, can actually be somewhat negatively affecting what we do because of the fact that people will delegate more and more cognitive tasks towards those models. Um, we might see a decline in actually in people participating in the knowledge economy. You can imagine if everybody is just outsourcing their cognitive tasks to generative AI, this might be a catastrophe. And so there's a much deeper incentive in building this project, which is we're not only building a learn to earn game, but we also want to aim higher in terms of allowing people to learn much more efficiently and to sort of augment their intelligence in order to be competitive in this new world that is dominated by AI. Um, so that's the strategic vision that we have. But of course, Web3 and blockchain, it fits really nicely into that because by using that system, we can provide, we can create very eccentric and very interesting incentive systems where people can not only play and maybe get some virtual in-game currencies, but they can actually bet on the fact that they know something and maybe participate in competitive tournaments with each other. So our plans are to actually focus in the next few months on gradually introducing more and more Web3 elements into the picture, such as NFTs that you can claim if you win a certain competition, or in-game currency that you can burn to get an NFT and maybe burn the NFT back to get the in-game currency. So we're currently working on creating a very interesting tokenomics around the game, and a lot of news are coming up. So stay tuned.
Sounds amazing, especially the bigger goal with helping humanity to basically compete with the AI, right?
Yeah.
That sounds amazing, actually. And yes, you're absolutely right. It can looks like we just switched from the Web3 to the AI hype train, because last year was, I don't know, NFT, blah blah blah. Here right now it's AI, and it might, for sure looks like we are switching trains. But at the same time, there is one practical applications and one practical measurements why we are integrating AI into the DUNNO, right? And one of the use case I just want to mention, because I'm also the user of DUNNO. Just, please let me know if I'm saying that correct. DUNNO.
DUNNO, yes.
Okay. So, and the use case was pretty simple. I'm right now studying in the law school, and I just noticed that I still don't get the all the understanding of differences between the common law and civil law. It's not like something easy to understand, to be honest, because there are a lot of intersections. But I was thinking, okay, so I have my notes. I have my notes from different lectures or books I have read, and I just saw that I can just copy and paste some of my notes, like 100 sentences, paste it into the DUNNO quiz generator, and after that it will generate me the quiz. If I will do it again and again with different subset of my notes, there will be more and more different quizzes covering different specific topics, right? So basically, I spent, let me remember, probably 2 minutes to generate 10 question quiz. And at that day, I was basically testing that with a group of people from the law school. So speaking about AI, from the technical perspective, it was a disruption. So instead of spending like hours, as I did with competitive products for the quiz generator, it was basically a few minutes for that. And file tuning tool was helpful for me to basically optimize the time for different questions, optimize the correct or wrong answers, etc. But it was one of the most interesting use case. And at that situation, I was having the role of facilitator, right? So basically, your friends and family can be your classmates, can be your students if you're a teacher, can be your customers if you are coach, for example. And actually, every time with a group, we have some kind of leader. We can call it facilitator, and we have the goal of engaging users, right? So, and the DUNNO is basically such type of tool. Am I right?
Yes, you are right. It's interesting how you experienced this huge boost in productivity. And we think that by allowing people to have that, first of all, they're able to compete with the much faster AI generation tools by actually by using these AI tools in their toolkit. That's the thing. So what we're aiming for is to make products that will be used by a lot of people who are not actually familiar with Web3 in any way, but they're just using it because it has a certain utility for them. But since we're here talking about how it plays out for the GTON ecosystem, we think that those people might be easily converted into people who will see some value in utilizing the Web3 components. Because if you're quite knowledgeable about a certain topic, and if you can wager a certain amount of in-game currency because you're confident that if you play against other people, you are going to win because of how proficient you are in this topic, then you're definitely going to take that bet because it's like, it's a certain win for you. And of course, there's a problem with the fact that these types of competition they can be overrun by bots. People can try to use AI to sort of trick the system, and we're thinking about how to introduce some measures against that. But what we think we will see is that we will see a steady growth of the user base, and when that happens, when we achieve a certain threshold in terms of the user growth, we will be gradually adding the Web3 systems, which are going to be based on our GTON network rollup, which will mean that all that activity that is generated by the DUNNO application will be transferred to the GTON rollup for those people who are interested in making it about competition and actually using the Web3 model. So that's our strategy. So we're building a very engaging product first. Then we adding Web3 features in addition to what we're building, and we will see the merger between the user base of those two products. So that will be my resume.
Yeah, sounds amazing actually. And one thing I also hear from what you're saying, but it's probably not emphasized, is that the Web3 components, those are basically the tools for solving a certain task, right? For example, monetization. So once we'll have the roles of facilitators who will build their own sub communities. For them, the Web3 components is a tool, first of all, for monetization, right? I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that the users will have to onboard in Web3 in the first place to help facilitator to monetize his efforts, but
Yeah.
there will be some kind of bridge, right? And for facilitator, as a professional user, it's not a problem to work with Web3, right? In that sense, this is one thing. Another thing is socialify. The socialify means the utilizing of different hype technologies like NFTs or NFT gated communities, or whatever connected to the digital rewards, digital collectibles. It will be also here. I mean, for different events, there can be different types of NFTs, probably some kind of mystery box, right? Prizes and everything connected to the digital assets in a way of engaging the socionomics, basically the engage people to exchange those digital collectibles or accumulate them, utilize them in different purposes. Everything can be implemented and will be implemented on the rollup. Am I right?
Oh yes, absolutely. So of course there's a huge opportunity for people who are actually active with the DUNNO app, those that we call facilitators. There's a huge opportunity for them to create new incentive systems and monetize the content that they're creating. So it's not only about just gaming, and as you mentioned, it becomes more of a socialify kind of tendency within the app, which would also allow us to create certain viral mechanics and to attract more users. And yeah, we're focusing on making the user experience as simple as possible, so you won't have to touch the Web3 features as long as you don't need to be active as a facilitator, which means that we will see a much larger user base than all those games that are usually built with Web3 in mind first. You know what kind of games I'm talking about. I mean, there are so many Web3
I don't know
first.
such game.
I mean,
They basically failed with the users.
yeah, because you know them by name, but I'm pretty sure you're aware that all those games are basically lacking in user activity. And we think it's because they're trying to put the tokenomics first and the product second. And what we're trying to do is to flip this and to actually focus on creating very engaging mechanics, which I think we've already done, then to give people tools to actually help us as facilitators uh, to share these games among many more users, because we're sort of delegating that task toward facilitators, because it's quite hard to market a sort of a B2C product and to find a very large user base unless you have people who are willing to generate content and to have some piece of pie to themselves because they can monetize it. So I think it becomes a very solid model which will lead us to see lots of growth and very large numbers in terms of users.
I have one example in mind. Basically, I have an example of YouTube. So basically, YouTube is popular not because Google have made the huge task of creating the perfect content, but they made one interesting move with the creation of blogger industry. I mean the video blogger industry, and I think here we have some kind of correlation.
Yeah, it might seem that way. YouTube is not strictly a media platform. It also has some interesting features. I think um, what I also want to add is that besides the quiz mechanics that we have, we might see an addition of some other gamified mechanics, which will still be in the realm of learn to earn gaming. But for me personally, I'm very passionate about what GPT models can achieve. So I think we're gonna see the introduction of more captivating mechanics. Maybe it's not only about playing quizzes. What I have in mind in terms of the vision for the evolution of the game itself is that we might see some other types of intellectual gaming. Maybe something like how to I don't remember how it's called in English. I'm sorry. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? How to Be a Millionaire? So I forgot the name of the game, but we all know those TV trivia shows which are very popular, and so we can maybe transfer all those models, which are as captivating as just simple trivia gaming. Um, and actually, using Chat GPT is very interesting because uh, GPT itself can become sort of a moderator in your game room, and that's how we open up a huge number of opportunities for creating new kinds of gaming experiences. So, for instance, we're not limited to just a question and answer, like multiple answer kind of format. Because with GPT, you can actually make it a free form answer, which will then be rated against other players. And in that sense, we can get a very dynamic, interactive kind of gaming experience where it's open ended, and instead of choosing a binary or tetrary or I don't know quadruple. I'm not sure what's the fourth adjective is, but instead of having these kinds of options, you can actually have an open ended kind of questions and answers, which I'm also very excited about.
I think it's also scaling to the more interesting mechanics there, right? Like
Yeah.
quest games, etc. Interesting. So, but anyway, it started as quiz game, right? Here is a question: why the name of GTONQuiz right now is outdated, and why we have DUNNO in the first place? Why we made this renaming?
Yeah, well, it's quite logical that we're obsoleting the GTON token and there's a new token coming up, and so we're just want to cut the ties to the old naming. But there's also an interesting story behind choosing the name DUNNO, because it comes from the title of a book, which is a tale written by a Soviet author named Nosov. Uh, he wrote a very fun story for children to enjoy, but it's only on the surface, because if you look deeper, it actually is a very harsh critique of capitalism, which seems ironic that we're using this name for a Web3 project, but still, we thought that the connection and the wordplay is very interesting. And actually, the full title of the book is DUNNO on the Moon, which I think is also quite an interesting link because we hope to see if there's a token coming up for the project, which could be called DUNNO. We're hoping that it's gonna go to the moon as well. It's just
And it's also interesting because you can use do know if you do know something, right?
right. Yes, and because reflecting the nature of quizzes themselves, where users they often find themselves saying, "I don't know," before they learn something new. So there's a value in this title as well. I mean, when you're going to be playing our learn to earn games, you're definitely going to learn something new, which we think is quite valuable in the current economy.
Awesome, thank you. So the last question here before we'll finish. What's a new features in a row right now? Like where you are looking in terms of product release? Please explain.
Sure. Actually, today is the day of a new release into production. We're trying to do releases each week. And today we're introducing the first social feature, which would allow you to share your personal page with quizzes to other people so that they can just take your content and create their own rooms and play with it. We think it's a core feature that we need to introduce first before we embark on creating all the rest of the social features for contributors. Creating rooms, guilds, profiles, which is also a stepping stone towards creating all those NFT features, token economies, and all that. So please stay tuned for the release. We're actually really welcoming any testing that comes from users. If you find any bugs, or if you want to suggest some improvements, if you think, especially in the realm of Web3, if you have some ideas about token models, please send them over to Discord. We're definitely going to read up on that and provide feedback.
Awesome, thank you so much. So there is nothing to add. There will be more information about another project, the Sim Finance, how it will looks like, and there it will be released. Speaking about DUNNO, you can already try it. It is really amazing. I mean, the quiz generator. Basically, one of the hint here is if you don't know what to ask, you can just look at your own notes somewhere, or just Wikipedia page about the topic you like, and use this summary to generate the quiz. So for every topic you want to know, you can add more specific hints for the quiz generator, and once you have a quiz, you can practice with yourself, or you can share it with your friends. And every weekends you can basically learn something new and practice or challenge yourself and your friends and families, colleagues to know it. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Just wanted to make a quick point at the end. I just feel like I haven't completely answered the last question. I just wanted to make sure that everybody understands that our most important goal for the future, for the next few months, is to actually expand on the learn to earn concept, because we want to create and foster competitive environments. And since everybody here is interested in how our strategy plays out for the blockchain part of it, I think it's important to note that we're looking for interesting tokenomic models to introduce to DUNNO, and so expect some new releases dedicated to that. So I just wanted to mention it. But yeah, I think that's it. So maybe we can wrap up.
Yeah, actually nothing to say. It was pretty productive conversation and interview. So guys, if you have any questions, you can ask them in social media, mostly Twitter, Discord, Instagram. There is a new page for DUNNO in Instagram as well. and in Twitter. Also, if you have some technical issues, you can easily raise the ticket, support ticket in Discord, and the team will help you to solve this issue. And a final reminder here about the token swap, 15 June, the last date. So please do your action, make a decision about the swap or liquidation before the June 15. People were asking about what will happen with the GTON in the first place. So we can say something like, actually nothing will happen with it, except the fact that the team will not do anything with this asset anymore. I mean, it will be legacy asset, and there will be no guarantees that it will be integrated somehow in the tokenomics or used somehow. So yeah, please do it. Please do it. Make a decision and have a good weekends. And bye bye.
Yeah, thank you. Take care. Bye.